Welcome back to the special edition of Hannity, the Trump Doctrine. Yesterday, the Trump administration sent a strong message to ISIS by dropping what's called the, quote, mother of all bombs on ISIS tunnels in Afghanistan. And today, the U.S. military released video of the massive non-nuclear blast and details of the mission, saying 36 ISIS fighters were killed in the strike. President Trump is also reacting to the major show of force in the fight against ISIS. Watch this.
Very, very proud of the people. Really another successful job. We're very, very proud of our military. Everybody knows exactly what happened. And what I do is I authorize my military. We have the greatest military in the world, and they've done a job as usual. So we have given them total authorization, and that's what they're doing. And frankly, that's why they've been so successful lately. If you look at what's happened over the last 8 weeks and compare that really to what's happened over the last 8 years, you'll see there's a tremendous difference.
Joining us now with reaction is the author of Besiege, retired Brigadier General Tony Tata, and retired U.S. Army Special Forces Officer Michael Waltz. Thanks for being with us tonight, gentlemen, to discuss this, the Trump Doctrine, and want to discuss what happened in Afghanistan, the fight against ISIS. Give me your best shot at what kind of impact you think this bomb will have on ISIS in Afghanistan, General.
Well, Kimberly, great to be with you. I really think the Trump Doctrine is one of peace through strength. It's very Reagan-esque. When I think back to Jimmy Carter and Reagan coming in and the hostages being held by Iran and not released until Reagan was sworn in, it's pretty much the same thing. I think all around the world people are beginning to recognize that we are a powerful country. We're not passive anymore. We're not going to be bowing down to our enemies and apologizing. We're going to assert our strength. And so Mick Nicholson, the general in Afghanistan, made a tactical decision to drop this mother of all bombs on this rat line that goes into Pakistan, but it has strategic implications. And part of the elements of power at play here, sure, we've got the military destroying ISIS in Pakistan and on the Afghan border. And we're also using information. That's the big reason that this video is being released is because it's an information play to show the world what we can do, much like we did with the Tomahawks and the cruise missiles in Syria. So lots of elements of national power at play, political, diplomatic, informational, military, all coming together to have peace through strength. And we've got to fight our way out of this hole that the Obama administration dug us into.
It's like catching up, with a huge deficit at halftime and needing to come back with a big win. Michael, what else do you think that we need to do in Afghanistan to fight against ISIS and even al-Qaeda for that matter?
Well, Kim, I just wanted to add to General Tata's comment there. There's been a lot of discussion on what message the cruise missiles, the dropping of the Moab sends. And what's key is that the commander on the ground did not have to mother may I back to Washington to use the appropriate ordinance. And that sends a critical message to the U.S. military that your commander-in-chief trusts you. He recognizes that you're the best trained and equipped military in the world, and he's not going to have him or his staff second-guessing you from Washington. There was story after story from Panetta, from Gates, from Hagel, Obama's secretaries of defense, of National Security Council staffers calling commanders in the field and second-guessing their strategy and their tactical moves. There was this kind of obsession with civilian casualties. And look, I can tell you as a commander, as a Green Beret, we all understand the implications of that on the ground. I don't need Washington calling and asking me about that. And then you had pilots, as ISIS is charging across Iraq, taking over the Middle East, and we finally engage our Air Force, and you had pilots coming back with their wings still on the bombs, with bombs still on the wings, and 75% of sorties not allowed to drop.
Unbelievable number.
Because we had this obsession with zero civilian casualties. And the irony there, as we all know, is ISIS went on and massacred tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of civilians. So I think the overall message to the geopolitically is important, but the message to the U.S. military that we're going to let you do your job and that the commander-in-chief is going to be worried about strategy, what success looks like. Some of that is still developing, granted, but that the military is going to be allowed to do what it does best, and that we understand that diplomacy has to work hand in hand with military force in order for either one to work.
Yes, and General Tata, General Keane was on earlier, said the same thing, that, this is a big game changer for the U.S. military to say that, look, we're behind you. We have a president and commander-in-chief that's going to let you do the job, that's going to let you do the missions, and make sure that you have the military might to back it up.
That's right, Kimberly. It's called commander's intent in the military, and when commander's intent is broad guidance that you want your subordinate commanders to execute, and you train them, and then they go forward and they execute your intent. And so the commander-in-chief's intent, President Trump's intent, is that we kill the enemies of this nation. There are threats everywhere. You look at Iran, you look at Syria, you look at Russia, you look at North Korea, you look at ISIS. Everywhere we turn, that we're being crowded by our enemies, to whom we've apologized or given billions of dollars.
Wow.
And now we're trying to fight our way out of this thing. Pakistan, you name it, ISIS is there.
Sure.
And so suddenly what we've got to do is fight our way out of this thing and reestablish our preeminence so that we can protect our liberties, protect our vital interests, and plan properly with the National Security Council now looking at ends, ways, and means, and taking a hard look at U.S. vital interests, threats to those vital interests, calling Islamic extremism a threat, and then actually attacking that threat to try to eliminate it so that we can live freely for an enduring time period.
All right, fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with me tonight, and have a wonderful Easter and Passover weekend.